welcome to your brand new class, and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to do an upper body workout with the emphasis on posture, because a lot of my clients complain that they feel like they are starting to round in their in their upper back, which means that it can affect your lower back. Plus, obviously it looks nicer when we stand up taller. Now what can happen with poor posture is the muscles at the upper back here tend to get longer, and then we shorten our chest muscles. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to do exercises that open up the chest muscles and also strengthen those lovely upper back muscles as well on the backs of the shoulders. So what you're going to need for today's class is ideally some kind of resistance band and a set of light weights as well. There's actually only one exercise we need weights, and you can also do the exercise without weights. But if you do happen to have a light set of weights, then please grab them. Otherwise, we're doing the majority of the class body weight or with the band. I'm actually going to put this down to one side for a moment, and we're going to warm up our shoulders. So you're going to take your feet a little bit wider apart. Bring the palms of your hands together. And I'm actually going to turn side on now so you can see. We're going to draw a giant big circle. I'm going to take the arm up, all the way back, down to the hip, and touch down. Again, same arm. Keep repeating the same arm and then touch back together. So when we're talking about opening up the chest to improve our posture, this obviously does that, plus it gives your shoulders a really lovely release. We're going to switch sides now. Up, back, down and around. Up, back, and I'm sort of twisting my whole body. I'm trying to get the spine involved as well. So the opposite heel is lifting. One more. And then just release it. I'm going to stand facing you now. My palms are together. Pull the shoulders down. Soft knees. We're just going to open and then cross the hands over at the middle of the movement. So we're alternating which one goes on top each time. Tummy muscles tight. Just opening and closing. Opening up the chest to pulling those shoulders together. 4 more here. So everything we're doing in today's class is strengthening the upper body, right at the top of the body, the shoulders and the upper back, and then also trying to open up the chest. Okay, that is your final one. We're now going to go and grab our bands. So pick up your band for me. You just need a long band. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. And I'm going to take you through a series of exercises. We're going to do 2 sets of each exercise. So exercise number 1 is just called a band pull apart, not very imaginative. And what we want to do is we want to hold the band out in front. And I just want to say one thing about using bands. Sometimes it takes a couple of reps to figure out where to put your hands and how far. With my loop band, sometimes I just stick my thumbs through. But for this exercise, I'm actually probably just going to hold quite close to the end. And then we're just going to pull the band to straighten it and then release it. Now I'm going to turn my back to you. I actually normally demonstrate this from the back anyway, because I want you to see the upper back muscles working so hard. And what I'm not doing is I'm not releasing the tension at the end of the movement. I'm keeping that tension there. So it means my range of movement is quite small. I'm going to do 4 more, by the way, up to 4 more if you can. But the range of motion is small, but I'm able to keep that tension as long as possible 2 more times. But I know there's a tendency to want to just let the band go. Keep that tension. Bring the arms all the way down. Now, for me, I already get a little bit of a burn in my shoulders from that exercise. If you're not getting one, great. Hopefully that's not a particularly tight area for you. If you are getting a burn, feel free to do the next exercise without the band or keep it. Maybe just adjust the hold. However, it's not a bad thing if you are feeling a little bit of a burn there, because it means it's working. Okay, we're just going to take a quick breather. We can roll the shoulders, do something that feels nice for a second to release the shoulders. And we are going to repeat the exact same exercise for between 8 and 10 reps. So same thing again. You're going to hold the band out in front of you. You're going to pull back and then let go. Working with bands, by the way, absolutely builds muscle. There's lots of evidence to show that working with bands builds muscle, just like weights, because we're still creating resistance. We're still making our muscles work, and it's a really great way to train. I think it's quite humbling sometimes. I feel like when we start using bands and body weight, we realize where we need to work on, what areas we need to work on. You've got 2. Keep those tummy muscles nice and tight. This would be number 9. And then this is your final one, number 10. And then release down. Again, taking a little breather. All right, so that's a really lovely one because it opens up the chest. It allows the upper back muscles to work. We want to do an exercise now that kind of moves our shoulders 360 or more than 180 degrees, but getting really juicy in the ball and socket joint, which is our shoulders, okay? So it's designed to rotate this way and this way, but we want to get the range of motion that pulls the shoulder back to give us perfect posture. We do enough of that in our day, so all these exercises focus on this. So we're going to pick up the band again. This is one where I would probably have my thumbs through the loops for this particular band that I'm using. We want to do what's called an up and over. So I've got my feet wider than hips, soft knees, tummy muscles tight, so I can pull my band all the way up and over. So I see some people doing this to there. The reason why I prefer to keep the band in line with the upper back or the middle back is to keep the tension so that we're not letting the tension go. Feel free to join when you're ready if you haven't. And what we want to do is keep this, I suppose it is more of a 180 degree movement. So you've got the band landing in front of the chest or just below and at the exact same point there. Now what we want to make sure is we're not going into a woodpecker neck. So as the band is coming over you, do you feel like you're kind of throwing your head backwards and forwards? Ideally, you won't need to do that, but take note if you are. And then we're just going to do 2 more. It does burn a little bit. Sorry about that. We're doing another set. And now I want you to hold the band where it sits behind your upper back muscles, the muscles we're focusing on today. We're stretching those arms nice and long, and we're just going to pause. We're holding that tension. Doesn't feel very comfortable. And we're just going to pull the shoulders back, tummy muscles tight, and then I want you to ease off. Completely relax. So the reason why that can be quite uncomfortable is even for my own daily life, we are all hunched or stressed in those shoulders. So that's why those exercises remind us, they're humbling, they remind us of the areas that we need to work on or bits of our body that just need a bit of TLC. It might even be that you also could do with a bit of a massage up there as well. All right, we're taking a breather. And then shortly, we're going to repeat that exercise once again with that hold at the end of the movement. So we're going to aim for 8 to 10 reps. And then at the end of the movement, we're going to hold those shoulders into the band. So let's start to prepare. You can obviously now adjust your grip. By the way, you can do this exercise without a band. You don't have to use a band if it's too much. Let's start to get set. So I've got my thumbs through the loops. That's for this band that I'm using, but you can use a regular band. I'm going to take the band up and over. So we go just below the waist, both forwards and backwards. 360 degrees. And notice, 180 degrees. I'm not very good with my degrees. What we want to do is make sure that the chest falls open here. So those arms are coming back. I'll just show you from the side view. And if you were doing this without a band, make sure that that's what you're doing with your arms, that you're allowing them back. We want those shoulders to access a full range of motion here. Okay, we've got 3 more. Remember, we're going to be holding at the end. 2 more. This is your last one. Give me a full rep. And now we're going to end here, stretching the band against the backs of the shoulders or upper back muscles. Pausing here, stretching those arms long, making sure that you haven't dropped one arm. Keep it nice and even for me. Whoops, there we go. We're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then gently release. All right, we're going to be holding the band for one more exercise. This exercise is actually not hard. This is a really easy exercise in so many ways, but let's see what you do find difficult about it, because it might be more of the positioning than anything else, but the resistance is going to be the easy bit. You can do this next exercise holding very light dumbbells. I very rarely say that, but it would be something like a 1 or a 2 kilo dumbbell if you don't have a band, or you just like to see how it feels holding a weight. So the exercise we're going to do is called a dumb waiter. I'm just going to pop my band down because I want to show you how this exercise would look if I wasn't using a weight, and sometimes it's a good idea to try. What this does is it places your shoulders into what I call the correct posture position. So If you had your hands out with your palms up for this version, elbows touching the waist, and then we simply rotate the arms away. But what I've actually done is I've not just moved my elbow, I've actually pulled my shoulders back. So if I turn my back to you now, you can see that my upper back muscles are gently squeezing together. But if I let my arms go, I'm in what would be a really nice, perfect posture in terms of how we've set and stacked the shoulders above the pelvis and so on and so forth. So you could go ahead and perform this exercise without a band. You could even hold some light weights in your hand. I'm going to grab my band and I'm going to place it just at the back of my top here. So if you're wearing a regular bra, it will sit behind the bra, or you can imagine if you don't wear bras. And we're going to place the elbows into the ribs, into the waist. Tummy muscles are nice and tight. And I've got my palms facing inwards. Just for this exercise when I'm holding the band, it gives me a better resistance. And then I'm going to pull the elbows away from each other, pull the band away from each other as my shoulders roll back. And then I bring everything back to the start position. Keep those elbows into the waist, pull the hands away from each other, and then bring it back in. So the space I'm creating at the front of the body is perfect, it's ideal. When we do our back extensions, we want to fill this exact same space in the front of the body. Make sure there's some resistance in the band so that you're feeling that effort to pull into that position for the rotator cuff and the shoulder. We're going to do another 3 here. So I wouldn't say these exercises are the most exciting exercises. I wouldn't say that they are the most thrilling, but they do the job. And if you are conscious of posture, these are going to be perfect for you. Okay, take a little breather. They do the job. So eventually, we all want to go back to these exercises that just make us focus on one area of our life, of our body, of how we live. So for bad posture, which is, we can lift loads of weights, we can squat and all that kind of stuff. But actually, sometimes we just need to do the intricate exercises like these ones. What I would do with this workout is I'd probably add it onto another full body workout or even a Pilates workout after this. It's just short enough, I think, that you can get another workout in. Or treat it as a workout in itself, but make sure that you kind of almost continue it throughout the day. Oh, I'm rounding my shoulders. Okay, I know what I need to do. I'm going to go into a dumbwaiter, set my shoulders up, and I'm back in my perfect posture. So make more of this than just the one workout, and make sure you repeat it. Okay, let's place the band back. We've got one more set here, and then we're actually going to pick up some weights. Okay, so we're pulling on the band, elbows tucked in. This is the exact kind of workout I do with my personal clients when I know that that's an issue for them, that they have kind of got what's called a hoika, that upper back hump, or someone who just sits all day and they're conscious of the fact that they are rounding. Men and women, male and female clients alike. Okay, 5 more times. We open out, 5. It's also what I do in my own personal training because I don't want to have rounded shoulders either. And I know it's just as important for me as it is anyone else. And then last 2. Gently pull. And last 1. And it's hard. It's hard work. I'm sweating. And then just relax. Okay, we're going to do one exercise that requires a band, weights rather, not a band. And you can also do this without any weight at all because it's more about the range of movement that we're getting. But if you're someone who likes to do this exercise with a weight, then obviously you will. We're going to do what's called the rear fly. If you choose to do this without a weight because you just want to focus on form and getting a full range of motion, I recommend going into a thumbs up position because then it makes you feel like you're holding some weights and it just kind of adds to the movement. It adds to that extra little bit of lift that we want there. Otherwise, I'm going to be using my weights. I've got 3 kilos to do. I don't use massively heavy weights for this exercise ever. We're going to stick with our rep range of 8 to 10. And I don't want you to focus on how many or how hard. I just want you to focus on form. So when you're ready, pick up your weights, come into this hinge position. The knees are bent. If you don't like this one, if your back doesn't love this, I would repeat one of the previous exercises. So rather than do this one, just go and get another exercise done. So we're going to open up. Now, when I'm taking my arms out into this fly position, I am still conscious that I want my chest to open up. So while that's not the focus of the exercise, I'm trying to access that because I feel like that takes my arms further away. One more, and then come up to standing. So even now when you're holding your weights, I talk about squeezing your lemons. You don't want to have the weights making you depress your spine. We squeeze the lemons, we hold the weights. We're going to do a short rest period because the type of training we're doing is absolutely fine for that. We're just kind of doing almost like a physiotherapy style, just getting our upper back muscles nice and strong. And then we're going to go back down into our set in just a moment. So we'll take another 10 seconds, see how you're feeling. And we have a couple of exercises to do on the mat once we've done this. Okay, so we're going to now find that hinge position, bring the weights together, or it might be your fists, your knuckles. We're going to open and then bring it back together. Open and then bring it back together. It's amazing. Exercise is not just about burning loads of calories or even, I mean, it is about building muscle, but not always. There's other reasons to use exercise like this. Just focusing on something to do with your structure. 2 more here. You can do so many things with exercise. It's amazing. 1 more. And then come up to standing. We don't need these weights anymore, so pop them down to one side. Take a little breather. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come onto our mats. You can come into a child's pose stretch to start with. So just bring yourself onto the floor into a child's pose stretch. Completely let go into a stretch. Let the head come down onto the floor. Take a couple of moments to see how your body is feeling with that. And then we're going to come onto all fours. So when you're ready, come onto all fours. Drop the shins into the floor. Open up the fingers. Focusing on back body now, strengthening the back body. Tummy muscles tight. We're going to lift right leg, left arm. Bring it all down to the floor and switch. So I want you to focus on your shoulder. When you lift the arm, pulling the arm from the shoulder, from the upper back, from the muscles we've just been working, it might make the exercise feel a little bit different to how it usually feels. 4 more. For 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I want you to come down into another stretch. Take it easy for a moment. Okay, ready for some swan dives. So when we do these exercises, we're bringing ourselves into that position again where we want to keep the chest open and the shoulders close together, the upper back muscles close together. So we're going to do a version that is very back safe and then a version that's slightly harder. Let's see how we go. Come onto your belly. And make a capital E shape with your hands. Spread out the fingers, forehead down on the floor. And just allow those legs to really lengthen away from the body. Shoulders roll down to the hips. Upper back muscles already contracted like we've been doing the whole session. Tummy muscles are tight. And we're just going to hover. I would say, if you've got any issues with your lower back, don't go beyond this movement. Come all the way down. Inhaling, exhaling, squeeze the bum. And even push your pubic bone down to give you that elevation with the upper body. 2 more of these. This is your final exercise of the class. So it kind of puts everything that we've been doing together. Last one. So put it all together now. Chest open, upper back muscles. Now, if you know it's safe to, we're going all the way. Inhaling, exhaling. Up we come. Opening up the chest. Stretch those legs long. Slowly coming down. I think I've said already in this class about feeling space in the front of the body. Let's channel that now. Drop the shoulders. Open up the chest. Lift the pubic bone. 2 more of these. A lovely exercise to finish the session. Lift to hold. And down. Last one. Lift to hold. And then come all the way. Bring yourself carefully up into a child's pose. Turn your palms to face inwards. Let the hips drop back. Drop the forehead down. And just take a breather. Take a moment to think about how you're feeling and how your muscles are feeling now. It's a different kind of workout. It's not the one we're used to doing. 20 minutes, there you go, 20-minute workout. So you might have time now to fit in something else, but if not, I hope you enjoyed this session. Do let me know what you think, and I will see you at the next class.